Gene Robinson. He was the consort, longest-serving consort of any member of the royalty. 65 years he supported Queen Elizabeth. Buckingham Palace is saying he should be remembered for his support of the environment, science, technology, or will be saying that. And the Queen said on their 50th anniversary, I think it was in 1997, that Philip is my strength and stay. He tried to modernize the monarchy and did in many ways when he was the husband of the young Queen. Also known, Gene, though, for telling brusque, as NBC News says, brusque and crass jokes and sometimes even racially insensitive comments made. Was often controversial, always, though, by her side, and tried to modernize the monarchy 50 years ago, 60 years ago.
Right, and I mean, his main job was supporting the Queen. I mean, and that was his job, really, his only job, supporting the Queen, supporting the monarchy, the continued existence and status and place of the monarchy in British life and British society, and that's what he did. And you have to, I think you have to say he did that well. He had an extraordinary life. Born, I believe, in Greece. He was kind of a stateless royal as a young man, as the royals got booted out of Greece, and he was without a name, really, and was kind of adopted by Lord Mountbatten in Britain, and that became his surname. And he was the great love, obviously, of Queen Elizabeth's life, but an important figure whose job was to be in the background and was not, when the times when he made news were mostly unfortunate, because he was saying something crass, or he was saying something kind of racist. This is years ago. His job really was to be more quiet, but to support the institution of monarchy, also to raise the Prince of Wales, the next monarch, Prince Charles, who's still the monarch in waiting, and to sort of form him into a future king, and we have to judge how well he did that job. He was interested in the environment. He had other interests, as the royals do. But his main job was a little bit, I think, as he called Elizabeth, was that she was his job.
And wow. Jeffrey Goldberg is with us, with Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg. And by that measure, Jeffrey, the Duke of Edinburgh did, for the most part, judging by the Queen's own words, did his job very well. I remember a Maureen Dowd column on first spouses in the White House, and Maureen, I think, was saying that Pat Nixon was mocked because somebody had said that she made peanut butter jelly sandwiches for President Nixon, and that helped him get through the day. Maureen said, well, you know what? If that helps the person leading the country, then make more sandwiches. In this case, you look at just the remarkable sweep of time that Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh were not only married, but were symbolic leaders of this country. it is absolutely stunning.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. We're going to have, as journalists in the coming hours, we're going to have a difficult time separating out what we think we know about him from The Crown versus what the reality might be. Although I think the broad strokes of shows like The Crown are true. Now, your point is very apt, especially now, right after this Meghan Harry controversy. I mean, I think what you're saying in so many words is that this is a man who did his duty for literally more than half a century, right? I mean, just plowed through duty, and as Gene pointed out, his job was to stay in the background and play a support role. And I'm fascinated by the idea that people today look at that as a kind of archaic behavior, and one could even see members of his own family looking at that kind of role and saying, not for me, which of course is a threat to the continuation of the monarchy. And this is just another, this sad event, this passing is just another sign that the British monarchy, the English monarchy, is moving into just an extraordinary period of transition. We don't know what's going to happen, but this is a really interesting moment to see if this institution is going to stay. You shouldn't bet against it. It's been around for quite a while, but it's a really highly symbolic moment.
And Joe, since Jeffrey mentioned The Crown, there's that vivid moment in one of the first 2 episodes of the entire series where Elizabeth and Philip are on tour in Kenya because King George is in poor health. They come back from a night at the Treetops Lodge, and it's actually Prince Philip himself who tells Elizabeth that her father has died and that she is now the Queen of England. That was in February of 1952. Obviously, their lives changing forever in that moment, but it was that man right there, Philip, who informed Elizabeth that she was the next Queen of England.
And the man who stood by her side through the years, through the precipitous decline of Great Britain, through the 50s and 60s and 70s, still staying by her side as Britain began to have an economic revival and began moving up as far as being an economic power and a strategic power on the globe, but then being buffeted by one family scandal after another. But he's the perfect example, and unfortunately, so many of our views are shaped by movies like The Queen or TV series like The Crown. But there is that telling moment where Queen Elizabeth repeatedly has to tell those around her that the most important job for them is when everybody wants members of the royal family to take a position, to do nothing, to say nothing, to sit back and not show approval to one side or the other for fear of being pulled into political battles, but to represent the ideal of the British people. And we've seen recently with Meghan and Harry just how difficult many people find that job to be. And I must say, at least Mika, my impression from everything I've read about the family and everything that I've seen about the family, I suppose it's nice being called Queen or being called Prince, but it looks like an absolutely miserable job. And that is the one thing that The Crown has, my takeaway from The Crown, at the end of every season, I think, my God, I can't think of a worse position to be in, a worse fishbowl to be in.
Yeah, the most misunderstood position in life that anybody could have.
But kept his head down and did his duty and supported his queen.
We will be following this throughout the day on MSNBC. His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, dead at the age of 99.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.